I take so many breaks from Travolta month. I wonder if it was even worth it. Yes, it is. But I'm not here to talk about John Travolta. I'm here to talk about the upcoming release of the latest X-Men film, Dark Phoenix. Now, this is not a reaction to the trailer that just released, although I did watch it, and I actually really like it. I do. Now, of course, a lot of people probably aren't really talking about Dark Phoenix even before the release of this trailer because its release date got pushed back from November of this year to February next year. And with the recent Disney purchase of Fox Studios, that means that the X Men characters and the Fantastic Four will end up being integrated into the MCU once the deal's all said and done. So people aren't right right now. These aren't really too concerned or focused about Dark Phoenix, even wondering if it's even worth watching it. And I'm here to tell you that the movie Dark Phoenix is very important. We all love the MCU. It started off in 2008 and has now gone on for 10 years of strong storytelling. Yeah, the X Men franchise has been around since 2000. Now, I know it's not exactly on the same complexity and interconnectedness as the MCU, but rarely anything is. Not even the MCU is as integrated as it once was. Anyway, the X-Men movie franchise has been around since 2000, meaning that it's been around for nearly twice as long as the MCU. However, the X-Men franchise would be the equivalent of having a franchise made of mostly Avengers films with a couple of solo films instead of a lot of solo films and a few crossover films. So like I said, it's not as complex as the MCU, but it's still a cinematic universe that's worth talking and caring about. We often forget that when the first X-Men film came out, it was probably at the worst time for superhero movies. Yes, Blade came out in 98, but in 97 we got Batman and Robin, Steel starring Shaquille O'Neal for some reason, and Spawn, three of the worst comic book movies of all time. The first X-Men film reminded us that superhero movies can be cool and fun. And it can actually have a sense of maturity about it. Not as dark as the 89 Batman, but it was still a reminder of what superhero movies could be. And X2 just stepped up the game a little bit. Now, we all like to make fun of The Last Stand, which I have gotten a soft spot over the years. X-Men Origins, which is a piece of shit. And X-Men Apocalypse, again, I sort of have a soft spot for, but let's agree that it was ultimately underwhelming. But really, the X-Men franchise should be remembered for how much good it has done. And to be honest, it's probably given us more good stuff than bad stuff. The first two X-Men films are considered classics of the genre. X-Men First Class was a pleasant surprise showing us the origin of Xavier and Magneto and Mystique. And Days of Future Past is considered one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. And let's not forget we have the two Deadpool films, but the MCU will probably keep Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. But arguably the greatest thing that the X-Men franchise has given us is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, a character we grew so attached to that when we went to see Logan in theaters, you cried. Don't deny it. You cried. I cried. Everyone cried. The thing I'm trying to say here is that the X-Men franchise is gonna be gone. And while we're all excited to see what the MCU would do with them, I think we all have a certain level of respect for what the X-Men franchise has given us. It's given us, it helped us find a new found respect for the superhero genre in the early 2000s. It gave us a few grounded stories that are really well told, as well as some other superhero stories that are just amazing and fun to watch. And it dealt with heavy topics such as racism, LGBT community, personal identity. It's a franchise I think we like to undervalue a lot because we just want them to see team up with Iron Man and Hulk and Thor. But the X-Men franchise has done a lot of good for superhero films that should help us realize that we're gonna miss this. We're gonna miss a separate superhero franchise. We're gonna miss this. I mean, a complete reboot. Can you imagine anyone else as Professor Xavier? Anyone else as Magneto? Anyone else as, okay, we can think of a couple people that might replace Wolverine, but we still have Hugh Jackman as the ideal version for most of us. What I'm trying to say is yes, this Dark Phoenix movie is important. This is the end, as the cover version of The Dorsan said in the trailer. It's going to be the end of a franchise, an end of an era. And yes, we have New Mutants coming out later that same year. But Dark Phoenix is the reminder that no more of the Fox X-Men films. And while we like to make fun of a few of them, we do love more films than we hate from that franchise, and it's gonna be a tough one to lose. Yeah, I'm a little sappy, so what? I love the X-Men, so just thought I should point this out, that the X-Men Fox franchise has really done more good than bad, and Dark Phoenix is an important movie to watch as it's the end of an era. So that's really what I have to say. So still excited for the movie, but this is gonna be bittersweet. So comment down below your thoughts about the trailer and what you think of the franchise as a whole. Like, subscribe, share, and Dr. Cinema and Quachi here. See you guys next time.